Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this grand final of the Super Mario Bros. Free Randomizer tournament here at SpeedGaming Live 2021. This is the grand finals. This is it. It's proa007 on the left and TEEX88 on the right. So I'm your host, McCover52, and joining me on the mic is Growlwolf.
Hello, everyone. We are looking forward to an incredible matchup between two of our top runners of the tournament. I mean, I don't know how else to describe them other than they have been absolute fire so far in this tournament, and I'm really looking forward to see what they bring out tonight.
Absolutely. Good, very nice size playing field today, and this whole tournament, and it's come down to tonight, two runners and just one more series of matches to decide a winner here. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
And we will be updating the scoreboard here for a moment. So it's going to look just a little funky as we do get this set up. But we do have a little bit of a different matchup tonight because this is actually a double elimination tournament. This is going to work in regard to how they performed last time, and then they're going to proceed from there. So proa007 is going to be entering this with 2 wins to TEEX's 1. So it's technically a best of 7 based on their previous matchup as well, because this is a double elimination tournament. That's how they decided to go ahead and proceed with that. And yeah, so I mean, at this point, Proa is looking for 2 wins and TEEX is looking for 3.
Yeah, but we should getting ready to go momentarily here. So go and get your guesses in, chat. What world will we see first in this very first game here?
I think I'm going to have to go with a World 4 start. I think that'd be an interesting place to start. Not really, exciting, kind of give them a chance to ease into it.
I'll say World 2.
Getting a whole bunch of different looks here. We've got, I'm trying to see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Everybody's picked at least 1. No 8s, but we did get a 9 and we got a -1. So yeah, we've got just about everything here.
World -1. I wonder what kind of world that would be.
Well, if I recall correctly, in SMB 1, the original, the negative was like through a clip in the wall at the very second level, I think. But unfortunately, we don't have anything quite like that with SMB 3 here.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, look, we got Waterworld World 3 start here. Piper at the start here. They're going to check it and see what they come out to on the other side here. And we got a nice little skip there. Very nice. So yeah, we got a coin chip start here. Both of them small Marios, so they got to be careful not to take an F here.
Absolutely, because that would mean the game does basically reset the Boomerang Brothers, and they would have to play it in a normal stage at that point. So if it's a Fire Brother water arena, obviously that would be extremely tumultuous through our runners. No problem for either of these guys, though.
Oh, look at this. We're on the other side, but there's a lock in the way and a bridge that needs to be built, so not too useful for our runners currently. So they're going to take the long way to get to that center portion there.
It's very interesting, and I love the fact that we have the racer cams on here, because I think it's extremely interesting to see what the personality comes out of just by seeing their faces. I mean, we got TEEX and Proa who are very expressive in their emotions, and you can see it on their face, and you can kind of see the thinking going on as they're figuring out on that right side of the map, hey, what lies behind door number 1? Would I get there faster?
Yeah, and Pro taking a quick death in order to quit the P-Wing. Very good play on his part, I would say, because that enemy set was pretty nasty between like the nippers and the patooties you see strewn about.
Absolutely, and I think this is a little bit of an interesting start. Proa used his P-Wing on that first. Now TEEX is using it on second with 2-3, and I think this is actually going to help him get even quicker. So a small margin ahead so far is TEEX, but of course this is Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer, where anything can happen at any time.
Yeah, TEEX has a slight edge currently. Pro right on his tail though. yeah, it's just a matter of getting through these normal levels here to get to the center section where our answer will lie more than likely. So yeah, it's looking to be a 2-fort world free here. And so yeah, by process of elimination, the final screen should not have a lock in front of it. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing that lock in the bridge are very important for our runners at this point, and a good decision not to play that level, obviously, as they would have gained no ground from it with that bridge being out. And, you know, with knowing that there are 2 fortresses there, that's incredibly important, which really means that the only thing that was standing in their way was a fortress. And if you were able to bypass that by way of cloud or something, that actually wasn't required either.
Yeah, so as you see there, no lock in front of the castle, so TEEX is in there. It's actually a world free airship, so it is a vanilla airship to start off. Bro's still right behind him, keeping the pressure on, and we'll see how light or heavy windy is today. Oh, just a one-hit side salad windy for you.
Nothing major there at all, and I'm curious to see what Pro A's strategy is going into this. Previously on matches that he's been a part of, he really likes to go for that item management. He's looking for Boomerang Brothers, he's looking for any fight that he can pick, so he could try to get some of those really important items like the clouds, the hammer suit, all very valuable items because the hammers do break blocks in this tournament, which means we're going to be looking for those strategies up front very quickly.
Yeah, the whole affair, I mean, hammers breaking locks, that's going to be the key. Where those locks are located, you know, throughout the worlds, and just optimal hammer usages all around, you know. Also gambles potentially too, where you use it right away or save it for a future world potentially. So yeah, we got free F2 to start off in World 2 here, which is World 2, the desert world. And just a bunch of swimming involved here. Looks like TEEX might check the pipe as well that Pro's checking now. And yeah, pretty much following the same path here. They're hoping this first fort here will break that lock in front of the pyramid stage. So we shall see in a bit.
I wonder how many people are going to make this play, and I wonder what our runners here are going to do, because they both have a hammer now out of the letter that the princess just gave them. So on one hand, you can get to the fortress or the castle very quickly since 3F2 did not break that lock. On the other hand, that's 2 levels that you have to play, one of which is 5-5. So if you play 5-5, you don't have to worry about it again, and then you've got the fortress, so it's really only 2 levels. It looks like TEEX is going to go ahead and play the level in the fortress. I think this is a great idea. You're very early on. You don't know if there's going to be a surplus of hammers. You got to do what you got to do here.
Yeah, so runners are finding some bad news there. The lock does not break. Yeah, TEEX actually going back towards the other fortress. Pro is actually going to play this level usually at the pyramid spot here. I wonder if he's actually debating on using a hammer here or not.
I mean, he very well might. I've seen him play a lot of items very aggressively because he also has that mentality of going back through and getting more items later. So maybe short-term gain, long-term loss. We'll have to wait and see how many hammers do come out this seed.
Yeah, it looks like it may be worth it because you do skip a level in a fortress. That could be what he's thinking here. But he's going to play the Hammer Brother first and see what he gets out of it. We almost see another Hammer Brother on TEEX' side. Oh, a cloud. Very nice for Pro A.
Looks like TEEX was trying to set up something there. I'm not exactly sure what he was going for, but does get a Hammer Brother suit out of it, so I think that's going to be incredibly important later in his match for sure.
Absolutely. For Bowser, you definitely want to get a Firefly or a Hammer suit for sure. Oh, and TEEX getting gulped by the Pos Fast in 5-2. You hate to see it.
The look on his face was pretty priceless, though. It was like, really? Really?
Yeah, that's just one you never expect right there, coming down the pipe like that. It's just right there at the start. It's kind of funny, but yeah.
Absolutely. It is a humorous thing for us. I'm sure TEEX is not laughing about it yet, but hopefully in the future he will, because it is a funny one, and there really is nothing that you can do about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, at least that first time when you're not expecting him, but then once you know he's there, you can just sort of like slide to the left a bit, I think, and you can dodge him that way. But yeah.
Absolutely. A little bit of a different strategy. Normally the runners like to go right, left, and then fall onto a block, and that's like their timing mechanism for it. But this is Randomizer, where you have to adapt and overcome anything that's thrown at you. Enemy sets, levels, no matter what it is.
Yeah, so TEEX currently going for the Wolf 4 airship. He grabs a mushroom, rightfully so. More in not the scariest coupling, but he can still cause some trouble here and there. So good playing his part. You know, Pro is in 3F1 he just completed, and we got World 7 here to start off. Pretty much a forced pathway here. Gotta play at level in order to get to that pipe on that side, and we also got a required piranha stage as well.
This is getting very interesting for our runners. With that fortress being necessary, it is possible that that route could be required. And the pipe maze does like to make fools of us all when we, kind of go back and forth through all these different pipes and such. It really does take a toll on you. And you have to be very cognizant of where you come out, because that could be a factor as how you get back to the end.
TEEX thinking about using that hammer to gamble on that pipe there, see if it leads us to the end. But no, he's gonna do the same thing Pro is doing here and just play the fortress. Meow Pro is checking some pipes on the upper middle island there. Finds stuff on the lower half now. Just going through this pipe maze here, trying to find the correct solution to the castle.
Okay, kind of interesting on the side of Pro A. He found a second fortress. Okay, it looks like there's going to be 3 fortresses in all. And that's going to be an interesting World 7 here.
Yep, so Pro debating to use the hammer again, but yeah, he pretty much considered, it's just one pipe transition over to this fortress here, and by logic, it has to be one to break this lock, because the other fortress is right behind it, so pretty much a given that this one's going to be the solution. So yeah, I would probably say the hammer as well.
Absolutely, and especially knowing what we know now, there wasn't a pipe after the lock, so even if he did use the hammer to break the lock and then move past it, no gain. And actually, knowing what we know now, if he were to play 8F1, then make his way to the promised land, that might actually be a better play to go ahead and use the hammer there if he does get to the promised land, because he still does have that extra one. He may get a lead back here.
There's you an orb for chat. He likes to chant. Pro A actually going through the final screen of Small Mario, able to get through those spikes really fast and take care of Boom Boom that way.
And just like that, we do have a leadership change again, as TEEX did use the hammer play there, although Pro A deciding to go ahead and use a cloud over Fortress 2. So he's going to just play the Piranha Fort, try not to die here. He will do so without any problems. And he's going to take the lead right back.
Gets a P-Wing out of the deal, so gonna use one right away. And look at this, the World 6 airship. That's the one you want to use a P-Wing on, because look at this, you just blaze through on top of the top section right there, avoid the slow bottom half, and just get onto the pipe there.
And the absolute maestro of mayhem causing havoc once again, as he does provide a hitbox problem for Pro A. So no off-screen wand grab, but nonetheless is able to get through without any further damage.
Yeah, so currently Pro A having like a stage, half a stage airship is lead currently. So yeah, what's your next world, chat? Get your guesses in.
What's a little interesting about this is that TEEX does not have that cloud, if memory serves, because I don't believe he played that Hammer Brother in World 2. Now, with him only being about a half level behind, we've seen TEEX come back from a lot worse. So I'm not scared about that at all. And honestly, with that hammer suit, I'd be a lot more interested to see how that comes into play later in this game.
Yeah, yeah. TEEX has the hammer suit. Pro A has the cloud from World 2. So yeah, Pro is able to skip that fortress. TEEX played it, so that's where sort of advantage sort of came in for Pro A. And yeah, we got 5-9 here. Required since Pro did use that cloud, so it's about 45 second to a minute auto scroller here. Pretty much required in order to guarantee the stage is beatable. So yeah, just enjoying the ride here, having to stomp on an occasional fire chomp, and there you go.
Absolutely, and with this being the initial part of World 6, yeah, you could probably skip it if you had a cloud, and you probably would have. And then, a lot of our runners will like to take an even more powerful item, such as a Fire Flower or even a Hammer Brother suit if you're desperate, a P-Wing, something like that, to kind of ensure that you get through the next level. Now we have the 1.5 beta, so not a terribly complicated level to get through, but something you just have to be mindful of and get your timing down right.
Yeah, just a couple tricky corridors with some enemies and some piranha plants, but it's not too bad. We haven't really found a consistent speedrunning strat for it, but I can get through. You can get through it pretty fast once you know the layout and whatnot.
Absolutely, and that is one of the really cool things that the auto scrollers being turned off, as well as some other things, has done. I mean, auto scroller would normally be on for the coin ship, and we just saw Pro-A blow through that. Any of the airships, we've turned off the auto scrollers on. So basically, the only thing you'll see the auto scroller on is 5.9, which we just saw, and Atlantis, which is one of the beta levels as well. And that one, I believe, is even worse than 5.9. It is pretty terrible, and the majority of it is underwater.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we were able to check a pipe, and we see 2 610 stages with a lock in the way. So I wonder if this is going to break that lock. We'll see here shortly.
You love to see the item management kind of go the same for both runners to some degree. A little bit of divergence is a lot of fun too, but it looks like TEEX will also get that cloud from the coin ship, so no clear advantage there. We'll just have to see who plays the game of level chicken better, if one holds it for 7.5 or Atlantis or something a little bit more disgusting, then that may play a factor as well.
Pro going out of his way a little bit to play another Hammer Brother. Gets a start of it though, unfortunately. Not the best item you want to see, but it can come in handy. But yeah, I'm thinking by logic this has to well, TEEX is going forward here.
I think we figured it out as well, or I think he just figured it out as well, that we do, or that he does not actually have to play that. So now he does have to wait for a little bit of a marathon to finally commence, and now he's realized his mistake, cancels out a 3-1, and is now on his way through to the first of the 3-10 panels, and fortunately the only one that we'll have to play here.
Yeah, Finn, it is in fact Atlantis. Yeah, both runners noped out of that one. They're going to use that cloud they picked up from the... Was that for the princess, or...?
That was actually from the coin ship they just played, which was very fortunate that they both did have to play that, as that would have meant that they both had to have played Atlantis, or if one of them hadn't gone for it, could have been a bit of a divergence for them.
Yeah, so TEEX is not going to be able to make use of that P-Wing, unfortunately, but that's okay. So yeah, if either runner had a hammer at this point, they would pretty much have a free pass out of the whole world, but it seems the hammers are running kind of dry this seed.
Absolutely, and typically I would say that definitely favors TEEX. proa007, he's been playing Randomizer, I think, since Randomizer was the thing, and his strategy as far as the game goes is almost unparalleled. He is extremely good at figuring out the routes, the strategies, things like that, and we do see him quite often go for items more exclusively than some of the other players do. When we watched him and TEEX88 duke it out previously, that really is what it came down to. Pro-A ended up with some better items because he played more of those Hammer Brothers. He played more of those levels that would give items, whereas TEEX was more of just get through it, just get through it, just get through it. It went 1-1, and then Pro-A ended up with another item victory in the third. We'll see if that comes into play here.
And we got World 4 next, Giant World, and potentially a quick one. We have to see where this pipe leads. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So there's a lock in the way, but he's gonna actually play this first fort that he sees here. Now this could break this could either break the lock or build that bridge. This would be interesting though. We'll see where TEEX goes. See if he goes the same path or if he tries the other fortress there, because they can't access it right away with the pipe. Yep, that's where TEEX is going.
All right, this is exciting. We do have a divergence, and if TEEX is correct here, he will be able to take about that half-level lead that he had previously lost to proa. So this could be very big for him. We'll see what happens.
And proa did play the correct fort, so yeah, he's gonna have a good lead here coming out of World 4 here.
As we often say in the randomizer community, the randomizer gives and the randomizer takes away. And unfortunately, this time it's going to be taken away from TEEX. He has not made the correct choice here, which is unfortunate. You know, you got to make a play. You got to do what you got to do. And unfortunately for him, this time it wasn't the right one.
Yep, and as far as the fortresses go, was that 4F1, 4F2 in World 4?
I believe you're correct. Yeah, I think we once again have a match.
Yeah, so TEEX is playing for 4F1 now, which we know is the correct fort at this point. Meanwhile, proa is finishing up World 4, Giant Land.
Yeah, this is definitely big for proa. You know, we had talked about it previously with him being such a great randomizer player. When he's able to win those 50-50s, that just furthers the lead. And TEEX is going to have to really do something great to come back into this, which he's more than capable of. We've seen him do it before.
For sure. So, like, I reckon mentally TEEX is thinking he's possibly behind now, having guessed incorrectly. You know, he used to hope proa did the same play, which we know he didn't. But yeah, just as far as the mentality goes, you know, TEEX might be more inclined to gamble now if he's thinking he's behind at this point.
Absolutely. And if there's anything I know about the randomizer, just as a whole, it's you always feel like you're behind. I don't know how that it can always ring true, but it always feels like you're behind. And I think a lot of it goes down to those 50-50 choices. And unfortunately, TEEX picked the wrong one. And if he believes that proa picked the right one, which you usually do, then you have to start playing those aggressive plays, which we just saw him do against Stewie Cartman. I mean, he had a very tumultuous first world. He had a death that kept on occurring like 3 or 4 times in the first world. And then he came all the way back and was able to make a couple of risky plays that ended up paying off. And that was the ticket he needed to get back into the game. We need to see that again for him.
Yeah, so TEEX now entering into World 5 here, and we see that 5-10 panels. So that's normally not in the vanilla game. So that tells us that there's only one fortress here, and it is on the sky half. And given that that bridge is missing at the start, it's that's gonna be the only ticket. So yeah, we should just a matter of playing these normal levels, and we'll be out of World 5 here, Skyland.
Absolutely, and there's no question that either of these runners could take it if it goes long enough, but I think that really becomes a question quickly is will the game go long enough? We're in World 6. There's only a couple of levels separating proa from the airship. He's going to go ahead and go after an item here. It's a Tanuki. We know the anchor is a frog, so not really anything powerful there. Really, at this point, I think TEEX's best hope is to get into the Bowser's Castle as quickly as he can after proa, and then utilize that hammer brother to his advantage.
And look at there, gets a hammer out of the Skybro right there. Very useful item. Oh, we got 6-6 coming up now. One of those more notorious levels of the Mario Randomizer. So we'll see just how nasty it is here in a bit.
And we're also going to have to wait and see if TEEX goes after that hammer fight as well. He may be feeling the pressure of not having a lot of inventory, or he may be having the mindset of, I got to go fast. No matter what I do, I got to go fast. We'll see if he goes after that 1-3 item. It's a Tanuki suit, not necessary. Maybe he'll just skip it and move on.
Yeah, and he may not get a chance to. That hammer brother goes past the 5-7 tile there where it normally is. Yeah. Proa having a Fire Flower, making quick work with 6-6. Very nice job on his part. Takes a hit there, but at that point he's all right. Gets dodged that last boss pass, and he is out of there. Very nice job.
Absolutely. And now Teeks entering 6-6 with the Fire Flower. You love to see it. Obviously, get yourself the best chance that you can. We'll see if he's able to gain any more ground here. I mean, he's still about a half level to a level behind. But World 1 Airship coming up and World 7 coming up next.
Yep, and it looks like Teeks did not go for that Hammer Brother. I didn't see if it moved away or if it stuck around, but yeah, that's gonna be unfortunate on his part, not getting that hammer out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like he had actually just moved down, but I think Teeks is in the gotta go mode right now, which is actually going to be very detrimental to him, because with World 1 coming up, and I meant World 7 as in like the next in the randomizer, I was going to look at my notes, and yeah, it is World 1. There could actually be a very good play here for a hammer. This might be the last nail that Pro A needs to really finish off this match if the hammer is going to be extremely useful. Or, as we saw in a match just the other day, Haxer took a hammer into World 8 and ended up playing it perfectly.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, the hammer is going to come in handy. It's going to break that lock right there, which normally require playing level to 4 to get to. So I think Pro's no doubt going to make that play, because while it can come in handy World 8, there's no guarantees that it will. So best to get that guarantee out of the way.
Absolutely, might as well. And you're absolutely right. I mean, and especially if it's a linear World 8, if Teeks doesn't have a hammer, if he makes the same play, probably doesn't know he's ahead here right now. But we do, and we're seeing this unfold. And unfortunately for Teeks, if he's not able to make a play here, get another item, do something that's going to be extremely useful, unfortunately, he's going to have to play 3 levels here before he can get through to that fortress, which was different from proa007's 2 levels to get through World 1. So World 8 coming up next for Pro A. This is really coming down quick.
Yep, and Teeks does have that cloud, so he'll be able to skip that fortress similar to Pro A. But yeah, Pro's going to have a commanding lead going to World 8 here. Going to be able to digest all this but pretty good portion of this logic here to find his way to Bowser's Castle.
And of course, the fort that Pro A did not have to play is going to be Fort Knox. We'll see an early exit come out for Teeks as he goes back in with the tail here in just a moment. Meanwhile, Pro A is going to World 8. That does set us up for one of our favorite mini games here. Bridges to Bowser, where we take a moment to guess anywhere from -1 to 4 on how many bridges will be in Bowser's Valley.
Let's say 1 bridge.
I'm thinking with some of the different things that we've seen so far, I think 2 is going to come up here for these guys. But we will, of course, have to wait and see as we get our first look at World 8.
Oh, right off the bat, we see 2 fortresses at least. The tank stage may not be a fortress. I wonder if Pro is going to check anyway and see. So yeah, kind of nice assortment of levels at the start, which you like to see. You know, it's more than likely these runners will play these levels just to get them out of the way. So we want to revisit this screen again, but yeah, it should be interesting to see what he does here.
Absolutely. And I think it's one of those, you're here, there's only one way to get out of it. There's not really a reason to come back to this. I say you give it the peek. You know, you don't really know where your opponent is. Maybe they're ahead of you. Maybe they haven't played it yet, and that is the required one. You know, we'll have to wait and see, obviously. But I think it's worth a look, if nothing else.
Yeah, and Pro A equipping that Tanuki suit. We know he skipped 7F1 since Teeks played it on his end, and it was one of the forts that he had to play due to not having that hammer. So Pro is still looking 7F1, so that was why he sort of equipped the tail there to anticipate that. But yeah, Teeks will be joining Pro A in World 8 shortly here. Pro's going to have at least a 2 fort lead at this point. Yeah, he is going to poke in that tank stage, and it is the normal tank stage, which will not do anything as far as the map goes. So.
All right, we had a question, or not a question we had a comment in chat, I should say.
Oh.
Stewie Cartman, I think, knows something that I don't know. Maybe you know this, Macobra, but apparently there's a way to tell which one is the fake tank, and the one on the screen was the fake one. So I'd like to know more. Stewie, if you want to explain If it disappears, it's the fake one. Like when you enter the map. Because I'll be completely honest, I've never heard of this before. I always wondered if there was a way, but I never saw any clear indications.
Yeah, same. But yeah, we saw the final screen there, and there was one bridge, and that bridge was not yet built. So Pro is having to play 6 at 3 now to hopefully get that final bridge intact so we can get on the Bowser here.
Okay, so it looks like what Chad is saying is if you're entering another level and the tank disappears, so I guess it has to be the tank only, obviously, because we saw the Air Force disappear for TEEX, and you obviously have to play that. That's a fortress. So that's very interesting, though. So if it disappears when you're going into a level, apparently that's the fake one. That is very good information to know.
Yep, and looks like Pro has found the correct fortress. There was a lock on the dark maze there, so just a matter of him finding a way back to Bowser's castle here to get on the Bowser. There we go. He doesn't have a hammer suit though. TEEX still has a hammer suit in his inventory, so yeah. But at this point, it's looking like Pro's game to lose. Outside of something catastrophic happening, but yeah, he's on the home stretch at this point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, he's currently looking at pretty close to a sub 30. I mean, unless something goes wrong or if he can't quite get the clip down, then obviously that'll play a factor. But very close to that. We'll have to just wait and see. TEEX realizing he still needs a little bit more help, and he'll have to try to go back and find the correct fortress, as we just saw Pro do moments ago.
Yeah, but Pro is not one to usually do that infamous clip that on Bowser. So he plays that room with all the fireballs and whatnot. So a little scary depending on what you get, but he made it through, and just a few stomps from Bowser, and he'll be on his way to take game 1 here.
Absolutely, and at this point, I mean, it's almost as good as gone. Really not a lot is going to go on with this fight. He's little Mario. He's in that hit box that Bowser just doesn't have. I mean, like you said, unless something really chaotic happens, this thing's over.
And down goes Bowser. So ladies and gentlemen, get your GGs out for proa007. His official time is right at 30 minutes, actually. GG's.
GG's indeed. What an incredible run. I mean, it just seemed like everything he could have possibly done right, he did do right. And TEEX, unfortunately, with just a couple of misses, small misses. I mean, they did not account for much. He's, maybe a minute and a half behind at this point. He's about to get back into Bowser's Valley. He's going to equip that Hammer Brothers suit. We know TEEX likes to go for some of those clips, and he's extremely good at those. This fight's going to be over in not long. I mean, you're looking at just a level or 2 behind, and we know exactly where those were. World 4, he picked the wrong one. World 6, he ended up going into the wrong level. We saw a couple of those little misses that do mean a lot in Randomizer. And at this point, he's in a must-win situation, but he's no stranger, and he's definitely not fearful of what the Randomizer has for him. So I'm hoping for a little bit more of an aggressive start here on this next seed, and hopefully that does pay off for him.
Yeah, for sure. I would say the two main things that got Pro an edge here, definitely the World 4 Giant Land coin flip between the two fortresses, and having that hammer World 1 that allowed him to skip an extra fort and level there definitely helped. So yeah, with the hammer suit, Bowser goes down, TEEX is in, so you could GG's out for him. His official time will be 31 minutes and 38 seconds.
Definitely GG's to both of our runners. And now, because of how this is set up as a best of 7, we are still taking their previous race into account at this regard. Last time we saw TEEX come right back after a first loss. So honestly, I have to hope the same here. I mean, he tends to play a little bit more conservatively when it comes to the items. There's nothing wrong with that. At this point, I think the best thing he can hope for is to get the 50-50s right, which obviously can go a lot of different ways. We're going to be watching for a lot of aggressive plays, where we're going to be watching for him to really kind of develop an acute sense of his surroundings. He's got to really have a clean and concise worldview so he can kind of mull it over as he's going through the levels. A lot of these levels are just going to be muscle memory for him, and he really needs to take this time now to really develop a sense of what he wants to do and then stick to it and stick it really hard. Kind of go with some of those gut reactions, kind of go with some of those things that maybe is going to set him off just enough over Pro A that he can really take control of this next game. Because unfortunately, if he loses this one, that's it. And I'd really like to see him go a lot further.
Right, you are. So as you can see by the stars on the screen there, Pro just needs one more game and he'll take this championship. But meanwhile, TEEX has got some catching up to do. He's got 3 games to win here, being part of the bottom bracket and climbing his way back up. So yeah, rightfully said.